Hello.
Hello.
Hello. This is, can you believe, I haven't done that in months. This is Ask an Expert number 37. 37. Is that how you say it in French? 37. Or something like that anyway. So I said we were going to be late. We're not late. We're on time. Now, long story short, Emily was with one of the kids upstairs. I heard her snoring downstairs. That is how I knew Emily was ready, because I could hear her snoring through the ceiling.
I look really awake now, though. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, it's that power nap thing, isn't it? Just before everything else.
It was my mum's birthday. Happy birthday, Karen.
Happy birthday, Karen, Mum.
It was my mum's birthday, and we went round for a bit of birthday tea. And my brother's kids and wife and everyone were there as well. My brother was working, and they all went a bit turbo, didn't they?
Kids went mental.
So they never go to sleep when they're meant to.
No.
So then we brought them back, went to sleep. Lydia Rose was chatting away, and I just fell asleep on her bed.
Bless.
But I'm here, ready
We are
for
here.
you.
We are here. It is Wednesday. It is 2 minutes past 8. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Yeah, we haven't seen your name pop up for a few weeks. Hope all is well. I can't remember. Sarah's name popped up in the group recently, about a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember what for. That's all right.
Okay.
Anyway, ignore that. We hope you're all very well.
Yeah.
Right, tonight, we may waffle for a moment. I'll tell you what I was going to waffle about very, very quickly. We don't always do this, but actually, we've had quite a lot of blogs going up onto the blog site, outsidebride.co.uk, in the past couple of weeks, and there's some really cool stuff to help with planning, stuff to help with inspo or inspiration, however you cool kids say it. You youngsters, is that patronising?
Yeah.
It's not meant to be patronising, it's meant to be stupid. So yeah, there's been loads of blogs going up, from things about Sperry tents with Papakata, to gin, to fireworks, to, you know what we need to get, and I know we need a blog on cheese. On the planet, right? So thumbs up if you're up for all this cheese malarkey.
How's that outside?
Well, I agree. How is that outside? But I think it's fair to say that cheese has its roots in like rustic, outdoorsy farmyard.
Why do we need to have a blog on cheese? Where's that come from?
Sorry.
You're talking.
Hold on.
I know.
Hold on.
We need a blog.
How's gin outside? Right, I rest my case.
Oh,
Anyway, right, cheese it is. Cheese, please. Yes, so the point of my story is loads of stuff on the website. We try and share as much as we can into the group. We share nearly everything.
We do.
Some things just kind of don't get shared because of timing and logistics. So please check out outsidebride.co.uk, because yeah, there's loads of cool stuff, which then leads us onto our massive news, doesn't it?
Kind of massive, yes. So we
not mediocre news.
Something new we're doing.
Something new we're doing.
As you well know, especially with lots of you in here, we've had an influx of new brides and grooms in here. So it's a massive welcome to all of you. For everyone who is new this week, we are going to introduce ourselves again. My name is Emily. This is Alan.
I meant to do this. I'm ever so sorry. We forget. Sarah's name pops up and we assume everyone knows us. Okay. Sorry, everyone.
We are the founders of The Outside Bride. We are outdoor wedding specialists. We work in the outdoors. We have outdoor businesses. We have...
it is, I'm not meant to be rude, but absolutely. And I think the outdoors thing, like, sounds stupid, but I've been doing events in outdoors since I was about 6 years old.
That doesn't really count towards weddings, does it?
Yeah, but
you're a scout.
Experience all adds up. Yeah, but it's that practical side, isn't it? So
anyhow, so this time of year, now we are at the end of season. We have had our last wedding, haven't we?
We've had our last wedding, and we're in the middle of our last job.
We're in our last job. We had our last wedding at the weekend. It was a very wet weekend, wasn't it? Bless him.
This is not meant to be a Baylily Bell Tents sales pitch. However, we put our tents up on Thursday afternoon. Thursday night we had the horrific storms.
I stayed awake like this.
We did. We were waiting for the phone to flash with a text
your
from the client.
Halfway across the field.
And basically, we all know what the weather was like from Thursday night to Sunday morning. We had no messages or no texts, constantly thinking they were going to happen. And I went to take them down on Sunday afternoon, didn't I? Because the weather was better Sunday afternoon. And I said, Emily, they had not budged. They had not budged, and it really does prove how amazing these, not just our bell tents, but the bell tents are. You know, we're in a couple of bell tent forums. We're geeks like that, and there was a lot of
people still like us.
No, I know. Don't admit the geeky stuff. There was a lot of love for the bell tents over that weekend, and I was gobsmacked. Like, there wasn't even any rain inside. Generally, I think it's fair to say the way like the poles work, you can have a bit of condensation, a bit of moisture when it's excessive, like it was down in like the pockets. And I don't have a problem with that, even as a camper, because I think that's the nature of the beast. But no, there was not a single bit of moisture inside.
True story of that.
Anyway, sorry, Emily. Go.
So anyway, we have an influx of new people in here, and a lot of people who are recently engaged or just starting their wedding planning. And we have just finished the summer season, which means we're going into the autumn season where wedding fairs are starting, and people are starting to think about their 2019/2020/ further beyond weddings. And it's safe to say that, especially some of the messages we've had as well, we've had a fair few messages, haven't we, that people are just looking for ideas on where to start, how to start, what to do, which is the basis of why most of you are in this group. That's never going to change. This group will be here for as long as we're here. It's all going to be full of our blog posts and inspiration and chat and this regular session that we're doing. We're going to continue doing that. However, what we have decided to do is we are creating the club, the outside bride, the club.
The club.
It may change name by the next week.
It may change.
But the club, and basically it's going to be a month-on-month membership subscription for people planning their weddings who don't necessarily want to pay for a wedding planner, or a wedding planner is not in their budget. It's just something they can't scope for in their planning. And basically it is designed to take you month on month through everything logically to plan your outdoor wedding, from sourcing your venue and your field and whatever you want to go for, to finding the right suppliers, to budgeting plans, to
checking your insurance, hints and tips.
Every last little detail that you might need to plan your outdoor wedding. We're going to take you step by step through that process for pretty much the equivalent of the price of a cup of coffee per week.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, is a Billy Bob bargain. And
not for me. I get mine at McDonald's for its cheap as chips, but yes.
If you go to more high-end establishments than McDonald's, that's it. But we are there going to be, and it's going to be filled with exclusive areas.
There's so much in there, isn't there?
With the website, you're going to have exclusive videos from us, how-to guides from us. You're going to have downloadable worksheets and templates. We're going to have exclusive blog content just for people who are within the club. We are going to have everything you possibly need. And also, as a bit of a sweetener, as this is something brand new, guys, for the very first 20 people that sign up.
Go.
The very first 20...
Go. Come on.
For the very first 20 people that sign up, we are going to offer an exclusive half-hour Skype video chat with a member of us, maybe both of us, to go through your planning, and if you've got any particular pain points in your wedding at the moment. We will go with the first 20 people to sign up next month.
Basically helping you to dot your I's and cross your T's on your planning to see if anything has escaped through the loophole of all you eagle-eyed planners. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's going to go live for further information on Monday.
1st of October.
1st of October, we will be releasing our first bit of information about that. If it's something that's of interest, you do stay tuned. We're going to feed a little bit more into it this week with stuff we're doing. But basically, it's designed to help brand new people, or people who've been engaged for a little while now and have now gone, oh, yeah, we're going to get married soon. We want to start kickstarting our planning because we have a year to go. It's a really good time to do it because it's October. It's a year before the next summer season, really. It gives you time to think. We drip feed the information in the right order so that you're not completely overwhelmed by everything, and everything you have is in one place.
Yes.
That's the pitch over.
That is it.
It's going to be cool. It's not. Well,
we're showcasing.
We're traditionally not salesy.
No, it is tricky,
and
isn't it?
We understand that a lot of you here are here to be part of the community. The community will never change, and we welcome everyone in this group, and we will continue growing this group and loving this group and talking to you like we're doing now. But it's for those people who want a little bit more help, like I said, who haven't really thought or haven't got the budget in mind for a wedding planner for the run up to their wedding. We are there to be that kind of bridge in between no planner and planning. So.
And planning, yes, yeah. Now, and do you know what? It sounds stupid. I mean, but I really look forward to sharing everything we know, we've learnt, we've experienced, and it's a bit like in Ask an Expert this tonight on a Wednesday night, and in the group we basically feed out what we know in dribs and drabs.
Yeah.
Right, in dribs and drabs. But what we're going to do is put it all in a neat little course, package it up, make it look pretty, put some fab branding on it, and make it available for you all to. Well, I was trying to say, I didn't know what else to say, and that was as rubbish as I could come up with. And yeah, put it all there for you all to use to plan your outdoor wedding or event. Really, 'cause it's the same principle, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yes, so we are very excited to bring in this opportunity to you all.
Yeah.
Yes.
As always, if you have questions in this group and you want to talk about things you're going through in your planning, do always add it to this group, because it's nice to see everyone talking to each other and helping each other out. I like particularly the question this week about dance floor. Did you see that post?
Yeah, do you know what? I had to read it about 5 times before I realised she was talking about making her own dance floor.
So the post was about having a dance floor on top of the grass so as not to churn the grass.
Well, she said, do we dance on the grass or do we make a dance floor?
Yeah. Because the prices coming from her marquee supplier were a little bit pricey, and she was talking about making her own or their own. Great, fantastic. Some things I would always consider, and this is the thing that we always call is the
money health triangle.
The money health triangle.
Money
time money health triangle. The
it's
half
our
triangle.
thing, and we can't even get it right.
The time money health triangle.
It's an L. Yeah.
And yes, you might get it a little bit cheaper for making it yourself, but you may not get it a lot cheaper from making it yourself. We're not
all. Who's the girl who goes foraging for glass and is making everything?
Favourite.
What's her name? It's not our favourite. We can't have favourites. It's like our children.
Charlotte.
I think it's Charlotte. But she posted up a year to go, and I think she'd had like a 5-year engagement or so, which is fab, nothing wrong with that. And then that kind of slowly the penny dropped on why she was making so much herself. It's because she'd absolutely had the time to do it. Yeah. But yeah, in the time money health triangle, making your own dance floor could be tricky. Now, from experience, laying a hired dance floor directly onto grass can be a problem. However, if it is meticulously flat and manicured and dry, like we've had this summer, then there won't be a problem. Yeah. But if it's not meticulously flat, manicured and dry, then I would envisage laying a dance floor directly onto the floor as an issue. We've done it, it didn't work very well.
It all depends really, and this goes not from making one, this is to hiring one as well. And actually, if you're hiring a dance floor from a supplier, number one, if it's going through your marquee or tent supplier, it's their issue to sort it anyway.
Yeah, always.
If you're going directly, and I mentioned in the post this week, so there are ways around going through markets. If you go through a tent supplier, you will always have a markup, because obviously they're a middleman. If they are hiring it, unless they own the product themselves and they're going to a third party, they're going to be that middleman. So obviously there'll always be a little bit of a markup in between, because if they're hiring it, there has to be a reason for them hiring it. But if you bypass that middle bit and you go directly to the supplier, there are places out there. There's a place,
and we don't wish to poo-poo any of our friends who are suppliers. This is just sharing hints,
because ultimately, if your tent supplier does it, it's their, like I said, it's their responsibility.
Yeah.
They have to get
collect
it right.
It, they deliver it. They have to. Yeah.
All of that.
They deal with issues with it and everything.
Yeah. If anything happens, it's on them, not for you not to worry. So I'm going to sneeze.
Yeah. Bless you. But as well,
there are companies out there, and there's one company we know of in Portsmouth, but there are probably plenty across the country all doing the same. There's a company called Aventus Hire in Portsmouth.
Well, and Wessex Catering.
Wessex Catering. There are lots of places that they are like big warehouses full of all your chairs, like your crossback chairs and your tables and your trestles and your rounds and your linens and your cutlery and your glasses. They hire all of the event stuff they need in a big warehouse, and a lot of the time, not all the time, companies like marquee companies will go and hire that stuff for the weekend and bring it to you. Now, they don't always make it available to the public. They all have to. Sometimes they're only business to business. But if you have places like that, it's always worth a phone call to see if they do hire directly to public, because you might just solve a little problem in terms of having that middleman. But you would have to collect it and all that kind of stuff as well. And there'll be obviously insurances to pay on stuff. Yeah. If you hire it directly from wherever you're going, and we're talking about going direct on grass, think about things like what size squares. Most of the time, it doesn't come in one big piece. They'll come in like squares, won't they? Sometimes they're smaller, sometimes they're bigger. Worth finding out what you're getting and how it comes, because as Alan was just about to say, when it comes to laying it, I don't know if it's the bigger they are, the smaller they are, causes the issue. Because if the ground's
it doesn't matter. It depends where the lumps and bumps are, really.
It's like a cassette, so they all connect together. And if you've got uneven ground, it doesn't sit as it sometimes sits a bit proud. So it's always worth working out what size you've got, and you might sometimes have to put a second layer underneath to make sure it's dead flat first.
Yeah. Well, it's tricky, isn't it? Because if you're going to put a second layer on, we never did this, but we always came to the conclusion that if we got some giant bits of cardboard underneath, that would work, or thin ply, because that would give us the flats. That would give us the surface. But then there's a cost associated to that, and that's the problem, So the other thing with hiring it from a marquee company is, on the time, money, health triangle, yes, it may cost you a fraction more, and they're going to deal with the issues. But then that's it. It's a piece of paper. It says a dance floor that then turns up, and nothing is simpler than that. So it is really tricky getting that balance right between saving money plus doing the work versus paying the money and it just turning up and being right.
And don't forget, if it's something that you're not used to doing and it's a DIY project that you're...
I have to say, some of the dance floors I've laid haven't actually been that simple to lay.
No.
By the time you connect them up, like the parquet ones we've cross-hired in before in the past, you end up with a little Allen key doing the bits up. The dance floor we owned broke down to...
What's that?
Definitely going to get our field rolled now. Doesn't seem bad, walking the dogs. But I hadn't thought about the floors. Yeah, well, actually, there's a side comment. This is a bit random because we haven't had any real questions, so we're a bit random. But I was at the venue I took the Bell Tents down at the weekend where we had the weather. The venue, Timsbury, don't mind saying, they have a purpose gravel square for the marquee to go on. So they have different companies come in, but they all go in the same place, roughly the same size. And the client had carpet laid directly onto the gravel. Now there might be like plastic or something underneath. And I was really surprised that they had opted for this. Like I say, there's never anything wrong with any choice. But the way I noticed was basically it was slightly curved, the ground underneath. Well, a wooden floor would have taken that curve. It's not like that at all, but slight. What's the word I'm thinking of? Not curve, but slight.
Yeah, there's inclines and stuff.
Yeah, slight curve. And actually, the carpet sort of went over it, and you could feel the gravel underneath because it was gravel lined. And then when you have a wooden floor, you lose that. And there are many types of wooden floors. So some marquee companies will literally lay plywood down on the floor and carpet over the top. The marquee company I owned we had sort of suspended wooden floor, so it sat about that far off the floor, so there was always a gap underneath that we packed out. So it literally took out all lumps and bumps and everything, and it gave a village hall feel.
But having lumps and bumps isn't always a problem, and
sometimes it's really nice. It's rustic and earthy.
It keeps it more rustic.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I said. My caveat was none of this is wrong. It really depends what you want. But Sarah, if rolling your field is an option, roll it. I think all of this has stemmed from, would you lay a dance floor on the grass? And in my experience, it didn't go particularly well. But then our dance floor, I don't know if I finished this, our dance floor was foot squares. So 30 centimetre squares. And we used to keep it in 3 foot squares. Until a bride and groom once, who were friends, they said...
Not going to lie. They were good friends.
They were very good friends.
It was a pain in the arse.
Yeah, it was a pain in the arse. Well, you didn't do it.
No, I didn't.
So it might have been a pain in the arse. You were nowhere near it. So our dance floor, long story short, we had a black and white dance floor. That maximum size was 5.5 metres by 5.5 metres, which is pretty big. for a dance floor, and it broke down into 30 centimetre squares, and we used to keep it in 3x3s. And they said, can you do our initials in the dance floor?
Black and white.
Black and white. And we went, and he went, I've done the working out, here you go. And we
Here's
went,
an engineer.
Yeah, we went, damn. So we went, of course we can, mate. No worries, mate, pal. He's our friend, not a client. I wouldn't have just called a random client, mate. So of course we can. So we did it. It took, I think we always worked out, it took something like 7, 8, 9 man hours to do, which is not what you would cost in for a dance floor. So yeah, we swore never to do that again. But it was kind of cool. I'm tempted to dig out the picture. I have a picture of it. I may share the picture in the group just because it's quite cool. And it did look really, really cool. But as a business, we sort of decided if anyone ever asked again, there'd be a premium attached to it because it took so long.
Yeah.
Because the flip side is, it wasn't actually the building it that was the issue. It was the taking it apart again. Because when we took it apart, we then had to put it back into 3x3 squares because that's how we transported it and stored it. And so we could use it next time. So it took just as long to take apart as it did to build. So that was the biggest issue, actually. Oh, come off it. We've told worse stories than that.
We have. Anything else? If anyone else is on, has anything else to say this week?
Well, no, I think that's it. I think we draw a line. We say thank you to our viewers this evening. See, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, well, sorry, I was just rereading Sarah's comment, and I was about to go off on one on fields and that, and it's really tricky to get the balance right, especially, and this is what the Outside Bride's about, because we've got 500 odd people in the group, nearly 600.
570.
I was about to say approaching 600, who all have slightly different perceptions of what is right.
Okay.
And no, I've just smashed a load of gin and beer. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm not an alcoholic, but it's just been one of those days.
It's our Wednesday ritual.
Yeah, and it's not that I need to be drunk to do this. Boy, I just happened to have. It was Emily's mum's birthday. Our mum, and what was I talking about? Perception. Indifference. What was I?
Well, the thing is, it doesn't matter what planning we do in this group and what planning you do with whoever you're working with, be it us, be it a planner, be it yourselves at home. Everyone's day is so, and that's the beauty of an outdoor wedding, is everyone's day is so unique.
Yeah.
And these little tiny intricate details you never think of. No. Up until when it comes.
I think that was my point. Yeah. That's why we do this, to help
Who
you
would
think
have thought,
of that.
like talking about putting a dance floor on some grass, which is a fantastic idea. Love it. And if you have a
dancing in the moonlight is got to be one of the most magical
strings
things.
Of festoons,
sunsetting. Yeah, I'm mind blowing.
Absolutely
mind blowing.
But when you sit back and you don't think 12 months before your date about that little detail, and it's this group which is amazing that you chuck it out there. Are you
telling everyone this group's amazing but we created? No, keep going.
But you know what I mean? You can chuck it out there and discuss it, because these little details you do need to think about, and people don't think about in this world. They think of the end result, which is always beautiful and lovely, but those little tiny details of how you get there are important too. And you do have what you don't get when you go to say a hotel, or you go to an indoor wedding, or you go to a venue. That detail's already covered for you when you're doing it this way, which in our opinion is the best way.
Yeah, it's hard work, but the reward is there.
There's so much to think about, and we really genuinely do want to help you guys. So please do still chuck your questions into this group. We do want to be able to help you guys. And I know a lot of you at the moment are watching on replays and stuff, because we're getting the viewership after the live.
And on YouTube as always.
And on YouTube and everything as well. So, and don't forget, you can always revisit any of these. All of these lives and stuff are put on our YouTube channel, and our Ask an Expert, not Ask an Expert, what were they called? Baylily Meets series we did last week.
Yeah, I'm going to try and share one a week.
We'll start resharing them again, especially over the winter time, with key suppliers that we worked with who have knowledge of catering or all that kind of stuff that I can't think. DJs, bands, venue owners, caterers. We've done some interviews with them where they can talk about what they found as pain points and issues that people don't always think about. So we're going to start sharing that again. But you can always visit that information on our YouTube channel. And again, we'll put the link back into here.
Yeah, youtube.com/c/Baylily Bell Tents.
It's all about really educating yourself and make sure you have all of the knowledge you possibly can. So you don't get to the day of your wedding, or the day before your wedding when you're setting up and go, oh crap.
No.
Wish I'd thought about that, because that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, in that case, basically, Emily, we've spent 25 minutes discussing wonky grass. Just to put it into perspective to uneven grass.
Don't devalue the wonky grass.
No, I'm not. It's you know me. I think it's ridiculously important. I see the difference in grass when I used to put marquees up, and now when we put bell tents up. So you get me back for last week. Right, there was no violence there. That was just a gesture.
This is a cry for
right.
help.
Anyway, thank you.
Cry for help.
It's not. You shouldn't make jokes about things like that, douchebag. Right, thank you ever so much, everyone. We thank you for watching Ask an Expert tonight. We hope you liked our conversation about wonky grass, uneven grass. It's so important, it's unbelievable. And we look forward to chatting to you next week. And yeah, we've got the club.
Stay tuned.
The club, possibly being rebranded before it's even been launched. But
basically, there will be 80. It's not going live on Monday, but the information is going live, and the sign up for the first people who want to be in the first wave of it will be ready on Monday. So you can. Yeah.
So the first 20 who get free half hour, would that be the first 20 who sign up from Monday?
The first 20 who pay.
First 20 who pay from the launch date, which is halfway through October.
We'll be there
TBC.
to give you an email as soon as it goes live.
Yes. Right, thank you ever so much, Sarah. I hope all is well with you.
It's lovely to see you, Sarah.
Yes, it is absolutely lovely. And our other viewers tonight, thank you very much. Your names haven't popped up. Right, take it easy. Bye.
Bye.